in harmony with nature, forgetting all around you, an aspiration that many people have, but the least experience.
Enjoy the rippling of the water. Feeling the tranquility of the woods. Breathe the fresh mountain air, the right companion for. The Volvo S90, a Swede which radiates quiet and power. At 4 meters, this is the longest Volvo battleship of all time, and thus enters the battle of middle-class limousines.
I'm personally very happy about the proportions of the S90. Why do we talk so much about proportion? Proportions are something that when you see a car on the road, it's something that you perceive immediately. Even in the corner of your eye, if you see a car passing by, you do realize if it's, like in our case, the S90, lower, wider and longer than competition. On top of that, we have this great dash to axle measurement. What is dash to axle? It's the distance from the center of the front wheel to the dashboard, which symbolizes premiumness, which is basically historically derived a distance that was needed to accommodate for large engines, so it created a long bonnet.
For this reason, the S90 also gets a very long front. It looks flatter and sportier than one might have expected from the Swedes. The taillights frame the powerful-looking rear. Inside, the Volvo S90 impresses with the finest materials and soft Napa leather. Then, as now, Volvo stands for safety. In 1959, they invented the three-point belt, and the Swedes still point it out. The entire vehicle control is carried out by the high-edge built-in touchscreen. The 19 boxes of the Bowers & Wilkins provide excellent sound in the interior. The Volvo S90 delivers 320 horsepower and up to 400 Newton-meters of torque in the most powerful version, the T6. The modern radiator grille is a tribute to the legend and is intended to highlight its sporting side, for even Volvo joins in racing sport. In the 1960s, Volvo wanted to enter the sports car market with the P1800. With just 96 horsepower, Ferrari and Maserati should get a competitor. But they had 3 or 4 times as much power. A less than a quarter of the price, it nevertheless seemed to be a favorable alternative to the Italians, but it never made the big breakthrough. Today, well-preserved models are worth up to 30,000 euros. But not only the P1800 was the model example for the outfit of the S90, the headlights were designed according to a much older history, that of Nordic mythology. Designer was Thor personally, or more specifically, Tours Hummer. Volvo squeezes 320 horsepower out of the four-cylinder, but even in the sporty dynamic mode, the fat Swede struggles with its high base weight of 1.9 tons. And that despite double charging. But in contrast to the well-known twin-turbo engines, a compressor supplies the turbo with fresh air at speeds of up to 3,500 revolutions. It is not a sports vehicle, but it is very comfortable. Its rear axle swallows every bump and gives you the feeling of driving on cotton wool. But Volvo has not only implemented that very well.
I think the special thing about the S90 interior is the approach we've taken. Normally you have a design and then you have to fit in there lots of switches and maybe put some bezels around air vents and maybe a bit of decorative wood. With this, we actually started with the centre, the very latest technology, vertical iPad-sized screen, and built the architecture around it in a very Scandinavian way. That's beautiful surfacing, making the best of the materials. And then the most important thing is we've put a chrome spline across the car all the way to the end that actually holds visually onto the end of the vents. And these air vents, we've designed an air blade, which is influenced from the concept cars.
The Volvo S90 is underestimated by most. Thanks to a successful design and the finest workmanship, it can keep up with the competition. The Swedes do not have to hide away from anyone because harmony and tradition make the S90 a very successful sedan.
These three completely different characters bring fresh wind into the hard-fought segment of middle-class limousines.